Yo, what's up, guys? It's Damnation-n-Hellfire here with Ross Crow. What's going on, Ross?
Good evening, everyone. Oh, I'm just here tonight, everybody.
Yeah, so just two of us tonight, so hopefully we can get through this fairly quickly because there's a pretty good amount to cover. So let me get some screen sharing started. We'll get right into it. So 328 update notes. This week they're having PvP focus with Bounty Season 8, Titan Rising campaign for megaships, and the Abyssal Invasion campaign for the new base defense options, including the Reaver Faction Trap Unstable Magnetic Zone. And we'll talk a little bit more about that stuff later. Abyssal Invasion, the runtime for that is Wednesday, 3:21 at noon PST to Wednesday, 3:26 at 11:59 PST. And you'll be using, guess what? We're back to subs or hunters or prototype seekers, whatever you want to use. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I myself have only done prize pack 1 of this. I'm using my Fangtooth. I don't know, man. I'm honestly getting really tired of seeing Fangtooth targets.
I agree.
So
I threw it up. I mixed it up. I took that new prototype seeker and I threw it with 3 MK1 that I have. I just have a limited built MK1s. It's just 3. And I threw it with that, and I made it through the prize pack 1 and prize pack 2 so far, just with that setup. And it kind of broke up the monotony of hitting these same dang targets over. And I myself am just as sick of using the Fangtooth. I'm not a sub fan, so I broke out that other one and gave it a shot.
how did it work for you?
It worked pretty well. I picked up a few hours repair. Not gonna lie. I mean, it wasn't, but I didn't, excuse me, I didn't have to coin the dang fleet in the middle of it or anything. I was able to complete the target of all prize pack 1 and all prize pack 2. So it was, I did pick up several hours of damage total, but that was it. And so it was nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing Fangtooths. Why couldn't they have made this a Buccaneer / Hydra campaign or something? I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree. I'm tired of, we're fighting the same opponent for a long time now, so it's just getting old. I agree.
Yeah, but I tell you what, why don't you talk about the prize packs for a little bit? I'm making some slides real quick that you missed for the prizes for this campaign.
Sounds good. I would be glad to. On prize pack 1, you're going to pick up the 1-day Conquest Yard build token ×2. You're going to also pick up a KB kinetic buffer. You're in prize pack 2. You're going to pick up a 7-day Conquest build token. A penetrative overlay, a new special. You're going to pick up a 1-day structure build token, and you're also going to pick up a 2-day structure build token. Then when you get on to prize pack 3, you're going to pick up a 1-day Conquest Yard build token ×3. And you're also going to pick up the new DTR transformer. It's and also the unstable magnetic zone. That would be a portal.
Yes, that is portal, correct?
Yep.
So I'm just about done making the slides that you missed. So
all right, sorry about this. So these
tell everybody about let's kill a little time. Tell everybody about your disaster that you had.
Well, the reason we have my great picture today is because I just came from the dentist and I have broken a tooth while trying to do a dog doing a dog rescue. My dog decided to jump in a cold lake and not too cold to swim, so I had to jump in to rescue and subsequently broke a tooth. So that's why you get the picture tonight and my great voice, but my face is damaged.
And I'm sure some people are just as happy about that. But anyway, you know, I always got to give you a hard time when we get to that point, Ross.
Yes.
All right. So one of the prizes you get is the DTR transformer. It's one that gives you a range boost and buffs to all your defenses and gives you a plus 20% on your armor abilities. But you are going to lose 20% of your damage buff. So, I mean, this is, I'm still like any of these range ones I've always liked for, you know, turrets that you're running for effects as opposed to their actual damage, you know, stuff like your glacial launcher turrets and stuff like that, you know, where the damage that it puts out isn't near as important as the effect that it gives off. So, yeah, this is the types of turrets I would recommend using this on.
And exactly, because also at the same time, you're going to pick up some defense. You know.
Yeah. Anytime you get a little bit more survivability to your effect turrets is good.
Correct.
And then you got your penetrative overlay. You know, it's basically the same as the chromium overlay, the concussive overlay, the explosive overlay, the everything under the sun overlays that we all already have. Only this one is for just for penetrative. Now, when I was looking over this blueprint, I did notice that it said bonus effect with Outpost Naval Lab, Advanced Lab, Explosive Building Defense plus 50%. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say penetrative building defense plus 50%. It might have just been a graphical error on their wording, but that's what I'm assuming because I know that the other ones, you know, they were all 20% unless you put them on specific buildings, and it went up to 50% of that same damage defensive buff. So
I would think so. I mean, it would only make sense, but you know, it'd be an interesting one if it wasn't.
Yeah, right. I know.
So
let's see. What else do we got here? Then you got the unstable magnetic zone. Why don't you go over the blueprint for this one, Ross?
All right, this one here is the new portal here, and the power consumed is high. It's 12,250. It's tier 6. Now armor points, it comes with 2 million armor points. It is cold snap immune. What it does, it has a range around this of 115. And accuracy of -25, splash of -50%. Cold snap immune, yes. So it's gonna take away splash and accuracy of the attacker. So it's gonna be favored faction is Reaver. It's gonna have a berserk duration, and it looks like 25 seconds long with a 5-second cooldown between that, apparently. I'm not sure quite how that works myself. So it has a range of 115. Accuracy on that shows a -25%, splash reduction -20%, and splash -50%.
Yeah, you know, I'm not 100% sure myself, actually, that I understand this berserk duration thing. We're familiar with it on attacking hulls, but I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, how it's going to work on a portal.
Right. I don't know either myself, so it's interesting. I mean, so you're going to have the original 50% splash reduction, and then you're going to pick up an additional 50?
Well, no, because the original 50% is only listed for the Forsaken, the Scourge, the Draconian, and the Legion.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly how this Berserker duration is going to last. Because usually Berserker happens whenever, you know, you take damage, then you get an effect. But for a portal whose effect is supposed to be into play even after it's destroyed, I don't understand why they would give that a Berserk thing. I don't know. I really don't.
Okay, so I'm interested to see how this is. I don't have one installed yet myself. I know some people actually are out there working at it, getting them now. So we'll find out soon. It is a reaver, so you do want to remember that to use the favored faction technology, you will need to be a reaver.
Yeah, and quite honestly, you want to make sure exactly what that favored faction shit does actually before you go in and switch your faction and whatnot. You know?
I would agree because it's a month.
But I'm wondering, you know, so all those people who are only getting the bases by splashing bases out, splashing islands out at this point, I wonder what they're thinking about this.
It sucks. I'm one of them. I really like that bit where you can, and when they build up the guard too strong, or the first ship is a little strong and you can splash out the whole base. I enjoy that a great deal. And so this is going to take away that quite a bit for those who utilize it. You know, we'll have to see the effectiveness of the other things on it, and to see if it's worth using. But that's a heck of a lot of splash reduction. So, and that really will stop that type of fleet, I would think.
Yeah. So. Pardon me. It'll be definitely interesting to see how this comes into play and how it works out. Then we also got going right now the Titan Rising campaign. That'll be started today at noon kicks time and will end 3/28 at 11:59 PST. And this is of course a mega ship TLC. And if you don't have a mega, you can't do it. Hey, how about that? Isn't that an odd notion right there? Right. So you know, for the first prize pack, you'll get your Congrave rocket module, your a pyrokinetic module, and you will get what is that? Six hours module build or upgrade tokens. So that actually gives you 36 hours. So while they're still only doing it in 6-hour increments, at least you get multiples now that can really add up for you. So
right, no, that's a good amount. That's a good amount.
Prize pack 2, you'll get your missile strike drone modules. You'll get your drone bridge modules, and you will get another thing of 6-hour tokens. And then for prize pack 3, you'll get the Exocet missile, and you'll get what is that? You'll get 3 6-hour ones in that one. And then for the last one, you will get the new rocket strike drone missile module, and you will get you'll get 3 more 6-hour tokens for your mega. Now, right. The interesting thing about this particular drone is, and I want to make sure that I have this right before I really go into it, is if I'm not mistaken, these drones they come with built-in rockets and prioritize attacking enemy fleets as opposed to going to the enemy mega. So that makes them kind of different. You know, these will go straight for fleets that are attacking your mega. So that makes them a bit different in a way.
Okay, so you want to. Well, I'm going to try one of these out myself. I do want everybody to know that with if they have the lower level megas without the drone bridge, original drone bridge, that this is their chance. Sometimes they move those around into different prize packs, and this one now is in prize pack 2. So if you're missing that drone bridge, it's a good time to at least get out and get that. It's in prize pack 2, and that really is reachable. You know, and I did notice that these targets, I have not done them all. I have done prize pack 1 and prize pack 2, and these are new targets. These are not the same as the old ones. I noticed that prize pack 1, it appeared that it was a sub attack. It was an interesting thing. It was over relatively quick on my Hyperion, but very doable. So I liked that they changed at least the targets also in these. They're very, I've seen I watched a couple other people do the higher price packs, and I was noticing that the Hyperion battles, all the targets were new. So I liked that a lot.
And here are all the stats that go with the rocket drones. If you want to, or the rocket strike drone module, if you want to go over them, Ross.
Okay.
There's a lot of them there. I had to make that slide real quick because you hadn't included that one there. So
great. Okay, so we got it's gonna have it's Forsaken Tech. It's got a max active drones of 4. The drone ammo is 24. Drone spawn delay of 3. So drone spawn rate is 1. Let's see. Penetrative defense 100%. Ballistic, concussive, corrosive, and explosive, radioactive defense bypass all 100%. We have a defensive plus 700 carried across the board for explosive, radiation, concussive, corrosive, ballistic, penetrative, all of it. So it's 100% defense handicap also. So you're going to remember that when you're using the specials. Pass through, it does have a high pass through, 434. And so you want to pay attention on that. That's like all the way across the board in all damage types. It has, it just says 1 weapon slot. We know that. It is a Conqueror class. It lists at, and it comes with 500 armor points. It's a tier 4.5. Now on its attack, it has a defense bypass. It says 100%. It's unreactive. It has a corrosive deflection of 8,550. Ballistic deflection of plus 600. Penetrative deflection is 1,000. Defense handicap also is 100%. So
it's kind of funny to look at the health of these drones and the deflections on them when we're used to looking at our regular PvP stuff, and then you look at the values on this and you're like, whoa, that's nothing.
Right. I mean, it just, and then you have to realize this is the drone.
Right.
So now the pass-through on it is 6. The corrosive pass-through is 86. Penetrative pass-through is 10. Combat speed's really high on these little things. They're 65 and the turn speed's 40. So now they have a built-in damage at 15,876 and salvo of 3. Reload time's awfully fast at 1.1. Splash 24, range of 68, and an accuracy of 100. These are going to be mean. Look good to me. I mean, it's worth a try.
Yeah. I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. It'll be a nice thing to mix up with the other regular strike missile drones that you have on your Mega already.
Right. So it's going to take I think I'm not sure what level I would say it's going to take to get to the top here, because these are all new targets than the ones we've seen before. So some of the lower level or medium level Hyperions might have a chance at these. We'll see.
I don't see lower level Hyperions even be able to get these things, because I doubt I'll be able to get them. But and the Charge Path campaign is back. That started yesterday and it's lasting until next Tuesday, or actually the 3rd at 11:59 p.m. PST. The single silo. It's a single silo target co-op. First when you use your assault fleet, you're going to get your radioactive charged armor ×5 and siege battery 4 if you don't have that already. The second one is skirmish. You'll use your Fang Tooth or your hunters, and you'll get your 5 times R armors there. Pardon me, and your ion thruster 4. And prize pack 3, you'll use either your Bucks or your Hydras, and you'll get your siege build tokens and your ally armor, or alloy armor CL3. So I mean, it's a pretty easy campaign, you know, just like it was before when we did it.
Yeah, and it's a good one. And so it's co-op, but we got to remember. See, when those of you that have all those things already, and you're an alliance, or you just have friends that are working their way up through, remember to go help them out. These are things that will not cost you coin. They will cost you a little driving if you're doing the sub work in 2, but with a little bit of driving, you'll be able to slow repair on all these, and so go help your friends and get them these things. That's what I think.
I agree. Bug fixes and balance changes this week. They fixed an issue where combat was crashing on live. That's always good because combat crashing is not good. They fixed an issue where a weapon had no build time associated with it. They probably could have left that one there if it was a good weapon and people would have been happy, but you know, whatever. They fixed an issue where countermeasure loader 4 and warhead reloader were not stacking properly. Here's the big one. They reverted the change where low FPS would cause projectiles not to render. So all your invisible projectiles should no longer be a problem. So yeah, so it's very good to know that, you know, sometimes when we do raise our voice and point out logically to them why a change is not a good thing, that they do listen and they do, you know, revert stuff. So that's probably the biggest one in my opinion. And they reduced the build time on the Hope by 48 hours down to now be 126 hours.
That's huge. Look at that build time change. That's big. So,
Cuttlefish says it was the new launcher with the 0 build time. So yeah, that would have been nice if I ever had gotten around to, you know.
It was. But I'm not a hide your fleet owner, but I didn't know it was that.
Yeah. So that was the bug fixes and balance changes for this week. All right. So as everybody knows, tomorrow bounty starts up. Yay. It's going to run from 3:29 at 10 a.m. kicks time to 4:02 at 10 p.m. kicks time. Of course, the bounty drips is the same. You get them at 10 p.m., 4 p.m., 10 p.m., and 4 a.m. That's every 6 hours. Steal percentage stays at 50%. I believe that's what it was the last time. Nexus information, I'm pretty sure it's the same as what it's always been. Yeah, yes. You get 2,000 on the first go round if you control, and then you get another 4,400 the second go round if you control it, and then you get like a 25 drip every 60 minutes. However, if you are going to switch alliances for the bounty season, make sure to do so before the season begins. If you change alliances after bounty starts, you may not get Nexus drips or expiration bonus. So if you wait a little bit too long, you get screwed. But in my opinion, that's fine because you're just exploiting the system and you deserve to be screwed anyway. But that's just me. Of course, you're going to have the replica bases again. They're going to be our primary sources of bounty. They're labeled your opponent on the world map. These are copies of real player bases that are spawned as an NPC target and pay out bounty. Anyone who participated in the last season could be copied, but the spawning is random. Each replica base can pay out bounty within a range of values. Checkpoints, that's pretty much the same as what it's always been. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All your first checkpoints are the same, you know, 2,000 and
yep.
Blah, blah, blah. And you get your chests at 5 and 9, and your big one is 10K. And then, of course, Sunday is the big one where your last checkpoint is not until 57,120. So, yeah, checkpoints are pretty much all the same.
Right.
Prizes at 1,700 bounty. You're going to get 12-hour ship build tokens. You can get a pride. You can get ray scatter gun, narrow firing aperture, 24-hour build token, structure build token. 2,400 points. You can get war plating 3, crusher cannon, punch drive system, 1x boulder fist with a limit of 3 get redeemed, so you can get up to 3 of them. And you can get Conquest Yard 24-hour build tokens with a limit of 5 redeemed. So you can get 5 days off your Conquest Yard. Which, you know, when you're looking at a 42-day build time for that thing in the first place, 5 days is good to get off of it. Every little bit you can get off it helps.
Yes.
At the 5,000 mark, you get Siege Missile D55X. You can get Precision Missile System, the Frontline Platforms EU, or Alloy Panels XM. And at 10K, you can get 1 Missile Storm Cruiser, when you can redeem that up to 3 times. You can get a Tactical Focus. That's finally back for 10,000 points, and you can redeem it up to 5 times. And you can get your variety of skins. You can get the Corrupted Hope skin, the Onyx Boulder Fist skin, which that one's really fun because it like increases the size of your Boulder Fist by like a factor of 3, which I'm surprised they still haven't fixed that yet. You can get your Rosa Onslaught skin, so you can go around and flatten everybody with your pink looking onslaughts. And you can get your Thunderbolt Missile Storm Cruiser skin, which is a nice blue one with kind of lightning looking highlights. I like that one, but my favorite still the Corrupted Hope skin.
Well, and my favorite would be honestly the Tactical Focus. Yeah, it says we can have 5. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And for all those that you're looking for those and didn't get those and need those for your empty slots.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that they would have had them back last time, and they didn't. I was pretty disappointed, but it's good to see that they brought it back this time.
Right. And the Missile Storm Cruiser also at 10K. That's attainable. You know, so that's a nice haul for 10. So
I totally agree. Of course, at 15K, you get your new CM XM reloaders, which is a special for the Warden. The Night Watch countermeasure, which is a special for the Warden. Hey, man, are you seeing a little theme there? You have the Warden on the wall, and they're members of the Night Watch. How about that? They brought you. We now have the Halo 2 missile, so you know that you can get 1 of those for 15,000. You can get up to 2 of them. It's kind of nice to see that they brought Halos back. So, because you know, I always liked them back in the day, so it'll be interesting to see if they're good or not. Although that projectile speed of 60 that they have, like, is like horrible, you know. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. And you can get the Explosive Forest PvP special, and then for 40,000 points, you can get 2 Wardens with a limit of 1 redeem. So for that 40,000, you will get 2 of the hull, but you can only redeem it once. So here, let's talk about the Warden. Ross, you can go on the BP.
It's a Defender class. It is a tier 7. It is 20,000 tons max weight. It comes with 2,327,500 armor points. It comes with a built-in accuracy buff of 25%, projectile speed buff of 125%, which is pretty nice, by the way. A penetrative range is 15%, explosive range plus 22%, so that's big. The penetrative reload is also 50%. Now, this is interesting here to me. It's got mortar, rocket reload, both 50%. This ship has remote targeting. That's correct, remote targeting. So it has a remote targeting range of 140%, and it can remote target both missile and mortar. So it's pretty interesting there. This would be the first ship that we've had to be able to do both those. Now, this is also has got some countermeasure special buffs to it. Countermeasure range of 150%. Countermeasure reload is plus 25%. The anti-mortar range is 150%. Same with the anti-missile range. Anti-missile reload is 25%. Anti-mortar reload is also 25%. This hull comes with the penetrative deflection very high at 562,144. This in exactly the same explosive deflection. So it's going to be heavy on the penetrative and explosive. It's defense handicap at 100%. Now it does carry the standard pass-through for ballistic, concussive, corrosive, explosive, penetrative, and radioactive at 360%. Turn speed on this hull is 30. It has a map speed of 50 miles an hour. How it does not. It does not have a combat speed, so it will not move other than turn. It does come with thermal imaging of 95. It has a 3-hour repair. The weapon slots, 6. That's correct, 6. So armor slots, 3. Special slots, 6. So it's very high on the special slots, very low on the weapon slots. Tactical module, yes. So it does have a tactical module slot. That's interesting. It can special abilities, weapon types for all, can be used with or remote targeting, missile or mortar, I guess. So, oh, it's got a special ability. It cannot be used, I'm sorry, with or for remote targeting. The weapon type is a missile, and it's a random launch override, a duration of 10 seconds, duplicate or a cap of 5. So you could build multiple of these. Range is 30. Combat speed, it will reduce the attacker of 15%. Explosive deflection will reduce them of 30 or 300,000. Penetrative deflection also reduce of 300,000 and take away their turn speed of 15%.
So let's talk about what, in my opinion, are a couple of the highlights of this whole. The first one that caught my eye was the explosive range of plus 22%. Normally, it's like mortars plus 22% or rockets plus 22% or whatever. But this one actually just any explosive weapon that you put on here is plus 22%. Now, using that in conjunction with the, the flanged warhead special that gives you a 14% range boost, I can see you getting some pretty high range on rockets on this thing. You know, I really can.
Yeah, and I would agree. My sole problems with this hull is and I see it really being a strong hull. It really does. Look at this penetrative deflection built in, and then you're going to have 3 armor slots. I know it's 3 sounds small or limited, but not with the armors today. So you're going to be able to get this deflection very, very high. I think we're going to have a ship that will be living in bases. Maybe after the base, you know, it'll be the last. We have other hulls the same currently.
I was going to say, so it'll be just like our eviscerators that, you know, our entire base is dead, but the eviscerator's still standing there.
Right. You know what I mean? We have that going on now. So I think we'll have more of that. My concern,
well, the second thing I found most interesting about this hull is, to my knowledge, it's the first hull we've ever had that can remote target 2 different kinds of weapons, either missiles or mortars.
Right. Now that's pretty cool. You know, that's pretty cool. So positioned correctly, you could, we even use it for the pass-through effect on a missile. I would think, you know, if you could hit them, use the remote effect the whole way around through somebody's channel or something. So it has its uses for sure. Yeah, I think you'll be able to do a lot of different things. Rockets, you could do rockets for range, you know. It's got quite of a slowdown type effect also. And so, you know, it's going to have its place. I don't know what hull I would replace with this.
I guess the last thing that I find interesting is the random launch override effect of the, you know, now granted it only has a range of 30, but I imagine since this thing's going to be pretty hard to kill and it's going to have pretty good survivability, if you put it in a place where people have to go through it, it's going to give them the slowdown effect, and it's going to take their explosive and penetrative deflections both down by 300K. Now, of course, it says it has a cap of 5. So if you ever put it in a place where they're going to have to go through like 3 of those fields at the same time, I think 3 would be kind of difficult. Maybe 2 you could probably do fairly easily. I guess 3 you could do if you would have like all your guard like bunched up all at one place and they had to sail through it. But you know, you can be, say for example, they have to go through three of those fields at the same time. You're talking about making them lose like what, 900,000 deflection at that point in time.
Right, but we can only get 2 hulls, right?
Yeah, for now. I'm sure there'll be a point where you'll be able to get more of them. You know, I'm sure like the rate a month and a half from now they'll be offered in there.
Right. No, right. I see that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Like I don't know. Like I know myself. I put one of those vanquishers in my guard at the moment just for fun. You know, because I saw how annoying they could be. But like, if I get the warden, that'll definitely replace my vanquisher for sure.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And but you know, for those people that are looking for a countermeasure ship, this is a really good. It's got great countermeasure stats. I do say that. It's limited to me to the weapon slots. So I'm not sure. I like the hull stats. I like all that, but there's a couple of things that I'm going to have to see in place before I'm willing to remove one of my guard ships for anything with 6 weapon slots. So that's just where I'm looking at it. I don't know the hull myself. That's just all I'm going by.
Right,
so
right.
We'll see.
I mean, anybody who doesn't have the Omni Behemoth or didn't feel like, you know, spending the 20 days to build it or whatever, this could be an option for them as a countermeasure ship. It won't be quite as effective, but I mean, it's better than nothing.
Right. And I forgot to look at the build time. I'm sorry. I didn't know if it showed up in the game yet or not.
As far as in the game, I have no idea. It does have a 3-hour repair duration though, which is kind of standard for you know, guard fleets. It's
right.
fine. It's fine for a base hitter to have 30 minutes, but you know, if it's a defender, it has to be 3 hours for some reason.
Right.
Even though any more conquerors are probably actually better at defending your base than what defenders are, but hey, you know, whatever. Okay, we got the Night Watch countermeasure. So yeah, wonder where they stole that name from. Anyway, it weighs 1,000 tons, and it is draconian tech, and can only be put obviously on conquerors and defenders. Projectile speed is 650. Your accuracy is 55. Your range is 60 to 100, and your salvo is 10, and reload time is 10. And putting it on, each one you put on will give you 52,702 deflection against both penetrative and explosive. And it shoots down missiles and mortars. And of course, that comes with a pass through of 360, that standardized pass through that we're becoming used to.
Now, you know, I'm just looking at this. I haven't tried. This could be big to me. This could change some hulls that are missing the explosive and penetrative defense. And by adding a couple of these, I mean, correct, that they stat at a stack, correct? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely, it was stack.
So holy cow, you know what I mean? It wouldn't take a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I just find it interesting how with like the weapons and now the countermeasures, you know, they're all add deflections of some types, and it's just like I just see deflection numbers going like ridiculous. And you know, I foresee a long era of PvP where all we're going to be doing is 360 pass through. We're not ever going to be overcoming those deflection values.
Well, they're already going up that high. You're correct, in my opinion. Also, I see that, you know, and that's what we'll be changing now, and something will have a new pass-through value is what we'll be dealing with. In my opinion, it's not the total any longer. It's the pass-through.
Yeah, so, I don't know how healthy the death of 1,000 cuts mentality is for PvP.
No, it's a time game. It's just a time game. Then, can you beat the clock? Can you survive the clock? You know, or can you slow down the attacker to do enough pass through? And it's fun for a little while, but that will get old. In my opinion, just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think it's getting old already with lots of people. Like I don't know. I long for the days of PvP when you could actually deal damage instead of like, oh, now I can deal 360 a billion times, and you might finally die. You know, it'd be like, oh, I could just deal my full amount of damage like 5 or 6 times, and I'll be able to see your health bar going down like in big chunks, as opposed to going down at a steady rate over time. I don't know. But anyway, we got the explosive force. That will gives you, that's another special, this one actually reduces your explosive range, but ups your explosive damage by 35%. It'll increase your weapon weight by 15%. And this is Draconian tech, and of course goes only on Conqueror and Defender hulls. I don't know. Okay, I guess I'm never a big fan of anything that reduces range, but I mean, I guess if you use it in conjunction with the remote targeting per se on the warden, it's not terrible, because you're getting such a nice long remote targeting range that losing 10% isn't a big deal.
Right, and you're at 140% already, right?
Yeah.
So, and in that case, yeah, and it'll have its place, but you want to be careful and don't be thinking a lot, you know. And I'm not sure what it stacks with yet either.
Correct. You got the CMXM reloader that gives you penetrating reload, mortar reload, rocket reload, countermeasure reload. And well, hang on, I should give the plus percentages. Penetrating reload, mortar reload, and rocket reload are all plus 45%. Countermeasure reload, anti-missile reload, and anti-mortar reload are all plus 65%. It's Draconian tech, and obviously can only go on Conqueror and Defenders. But good Lord, look at the weapon weight increase on that puppy. Plus 45%.
It's huge. That's so heavy.
I mean, yeah, that's I think that special needs to get a hold of Richard Simmons there and, you know, lose a little weight or something.
It's pretty heavy. I mean, and you know, if you're going to use it with rocket reloads, look at the other rockets are heavy. Rocket specials, everything, in my opinion. And so, holy cow, that's just. But it's a good, you know, it's good special. Look at the countermeasure reload plus 65 is nice. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There it is, the Halo 2. You want to talk about the Halo 2, Ross? I've been talking for a little while.
Sure. It's a tier 7 Forsaken tech. The power consumed is going to be 14,000. It is a missile, so it's going to have the penetrated damage type. Now the projectile speed is 60. That's not a misprint. That's correct. It says 60. Splash is 28. So it has some good splash. A spread of 70. Now the range is decent. It's got a inner ring though, so it does have the donut ring of 40, and it has a total distance of 219. That's a decent range. It has a damage of 288,000. So and a reload time of 15. Penetrative defense is 100% bypass. So it does MERV in the air. Penetrative damage also type would be, it MERVs to 47,000 damage. The splash of 28 on the MERV, and MERV count is 6. Spread is 70 to 75 on the MERV. Special abilities, it says tier 7 penetrative, duplicate bonus cap of 8, penetrative damage plus 25%.
So I'll be totally flat out honest with you. Just based on the projectile speed alone, I think this Halo is going to be very underperforming and very underwhelming. However, the best part of it will be building 2 of these Halos will boost your 2 executioners that you already have in your base by another 25% each, because it's in that same penetrative group.
Okay, so it will we build one of them boost it by any chance, or?
Well, if you build one, it'll boost it by 25%, but if you build 2, it'll boost them by 50%.
Right. Okay, because all right. So other than that, let's just break it down real quick and stat wise. It's gonna do what? Pass through damage.
Yeah, it's gonna do 360, and since it MERVs, you'll, instead of 360 times 1, you'll be getting 360 times 6, but with a 15-second reload. Yeah, I was initially when they said they were doing Halo, when I saw the Halo was in the list, I was like, oh, I'm pretty excited about that. And then I started looking over the stats, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not so excited about that.
Okay, now my question would be on this. Then with that is if I build a bonus just to boost my executioner, and I were to put it in the front of my base, now do I get that boost after this turret is dead?
Probably not. I don't know. That's something that has not been made clear.
Okay.
But I would assume you don't, because just like you have a hull in your fleet that has a special ability, you don't get its special ability after it's dead.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm just trying to think of my, in all honesty, I was just trying to think. I really like it to boost my executioner twos because I like that weapon.
Yeah.
And I could use a boost on that. So I was just trying to think of a place in my game.
The main problem with this thing is this projectile speed. It's
matched with reload, right?
Like by the time this thing lands, you could have went out, got a cup of coffee, went to the bathroom, sat on the toilet, read your magazine for a while you did your business, and come back right as this missile is finally landing. So yeah, I don't get the whole 60 projectile speed at all.
So it's a
new
weapon, right? I mean, compared to the Executioner 2 and the Howitzer, the new Howie.
Hey, do me a favor, actually, if you can, log into the game and go back in the Halo 1, look and see what the projectile speed on that is. If they have it printed on the blueprint, and just what it is out of curiosity, comparison's sake.
Okay.
While you're doing that, though, I do want to talk about price and how much the total for all the prizes has gone up since last bounty. Last bounty, if you got all the prizes that were available, all the new prizes that were in bounty, not counting the cosmetic skins and all that stuff, it was 65,000 total points. This time, if you want to get all the new prizes, you got the two specials, you got the countermeasure, you got the Halo, which you have to redeem up the place if you want both of them. So that's 30,000 points right there. Your total for all the new items in this bounty is 115,000. I think they've gone a little bit overboard and trying to put too much crap into bounty. I think they're getting a little bit greedy on what they want for points to get all the new prizes. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
It's a little high. I mean, because we're looking at a secure point. I believe, I'm just going by memory, but at 32K going into the last day where it's unsecured. Now, that's a huge amount of point discrepancy between 32 and you need over 100. It's going to be open and unsecured. So that's upsetting for me, just to see that. If we could have secured maybe more along the way through the days, I would have been a little better with the total increasing to that. But
yeah, I've been a pretty strong. I don't want to say I've always been a supporter, because there have been bounties where I thought they were absolutely horrible. But I have participated in every single bounty, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to bounty and price layouts and everything. And I think they've kind of shot for the moon on this one. And I think they've gotten a little bit greedy for example, last bounty, the weapon and the specials were only 10,000. Now suddenly they've gone up to 15,000. So that's an extra 15,000 that we didn't have to get last bounty. Well, actually more, because last bounty there was only one special. This time they decided they wanted to give us two specials. So basically that ended up being an extra 15, 10, 25,000 bounty right there. And then the fact that they put the Halo in there, and you have to redeem it 2 times, it's 15K a pop. That puts you at another 30,000 right there. So yeah, I just think they're starting to get a little greedy on the bounty numbers. It's like they're starting to come down in raids. Well, the last raid wasn't a good example, but raids mainly anymore, we're not having to get like 600, 500 million points anymore like we used to. And now it seems like, okay, well, we're going to make you have to get that many points in bounty, where the points are kind of mean more and can be harder for a lot of people to come by, so I don't know. But hey, did you look for the projectile speed on that Halo 1?
Yeah, it's going to match. The projectile speed is 60 also.
Okay.
It matches. So
I was just curious about that, whether they were the same or not.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 28 splash and spread of 70, and other than range and damage, reloads is 12 also.
And they did have some quick notes about PvP. They said the PvP swing rate is going to begin to slow down moving forward. Well, I'm not sure you could have sped it up much more unless you would have made it change every day instead of every week. We believe that the right pieces are now in place to allow for having release content to have fair viability for both attackers and defenders. This means that when new PvP content is released, there will be tech already in the game that will help maintain a competitive balance point. Defender class hulls for Tier 7 are going to be designed differently from previous years. Defender hulls will now be geared more towards providing additional layers of survivability to structures and other defenders versus dealing damage directly to attacking fleets. They may also provide some utility benefits to expose attacking fleets to become temporarily more vulnerable to turret or guard fire. And when new Tier 7 turrets are initially released, some will already pack a big punch, while others will start off with lower impacts. However, Tier 7 turrets of the same damage type will be part of the same group, so building them together will enhance their strength, which we talked about a little bit with the Halo buffing your executioners. This strength will only improve over time as new turrets get released. So what do you think about the middle section there where it says Defender class hulls for Tier 7 are going to be designed a bit differently from previous years? So basically where they're adding layers of survivability and not really actually dealing any damage.
I don't like it myself. I mean, I don't like the just beat the clock. I just don't. So we'll see. It's but I'm used to the old, so I just don't do change great, and that could be me, and I'll take that. So it could be a great thing, could be a good thing at least, but I don't know. I'll have to look at more than one of these next new Defender hulls, I think, to judge my opinion, because my opinion is I think it's just lacking. But, I was at the last, truly on the last show, I think it was, I was saying that I believe that the balance is almost there. It's real close for me. I'm not thinking it's one real lopsided at this point. So I don't want to see a stop all come in.
I think at the moment it's still a little bit heavy in the attackers side.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully, I'm anxious to see how the new portal is going to work, because I think what's really making it heavily in the attacker side right now is the fleets that have 500 whatever ridiculous % splash and splash out islands from the first guard boat, and I'm hoping that the new portal can really cut down on that. But that remains to be seen. But I think if that does have that effect, then I think things will be fairly imbalanced at that point.
Okay. So, I mean, so we're close in our opinions on how, where the game's at. And I like that. So, I mean, I'm getting beat up still. everybody's getting beat up for most part, and that makes for fun gameplay. But we're not getting slaughtered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I like it.
I just want to go back and hit something that we did at the very beginning of the show too, talking about the times on the campaigns. Like, because I know some of them were way off because, like, well, here, I'll just go back on the slides. You can see what I'm talking about in case you missed it. And I should have realized it when I was reading it, but I was just reading the information that was in front of me and not, like, thinking. So right here, this Abyssal Invasion, where it said it started Wednesday 3/21 and will end at Wednesday 3/28. Obviously, that's totally wrong because today is the 28th and it just started today. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that one is actually going until next Wednesday. So that would be starting at 3/28 and ending on 4/4 at 11:59 PST. And the Titan Rising, I believe the starting time on that was incorrect too. Let me find it. Yeah, that again, that had the wrong. So that was actually started today, and I'm assuming that will also be lasting until 4/4. Let me double look in game. Titan Rising, yes, it's still available for 6 days, 18 hours, and 3 minutes. Oh, that's kind of funny because I was looking on the forums too, and then in Rampage's amendum, he says it'll be lasting till Friday at 3:30. Friday 3:30 at 11:59 PST. But in game, it says it'll be lasting for a week. So God only knows which one's right. Kixeye communication at its finest.
Well, I passed. I mean, I skimmed it over myself, so I missed it myself and relayed it on even myself incorrectly. So. I know how that is. Now, in chat here, they're saying that the Warden was 6 days and 3 hours, 20 minutes with 1 thud. If anybody's thinking about the build time back on that Warden haul in Bounty.
Oh, I see Vikes joined us at some point.
Yeah, I finally got home.
I came in just for the tail end.
All right.
Hey, I made it. I made it.
Very good.
Anything you want to talk about on what we covered today? I don't know if you got to see or hear any of what we covered or not.
So no, I just got in. I looked at things beforehand because I planned on being on, and then, yeah, I had to do some, other things.
Gotcha. Well, is there anything in particular in the update that you wanted to talk about before we sign off?
Not really. It's everything's going to be about the same, except for I tried that Titan campaign. That is totally different.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I was like, what the hell?
It is. And so, when you're prepared for the last ones, I liked the change. I got tricked on a little bit of the location where to turn my weapons. So, and I think that I'll have the same moving forward because I don't have it completed yet. I'm going to check out a couple players have already made videos on it, and I'm going to look ahead and to see, make a little plan on maybe rotating some rockets on my Hyperion before I enter battle.
That is correct.
So are you guys, is it your intent to try to get the PvP campaign done before Bounty starts tomorrow and maybe put at least one of the new portals in?
I really am interested in trying out the new portal. I don't have the splash issue on my base, thank God, but I'm going to try it out. So just so I know what it does and see its place. I think it will have its place, and maybe I can possibly redesign my base after all. So I'm going to try that out. I don't know. I'm going to go and try to save some of the tokens. I spend them like I do coins, so it's hard for me to keep conquer build tokens myself. I get all these crazy ideas, and later it gets in the day, and then I wake up, I don't have any tokens. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess at this point though, like unless like if you're trying to hang on to them and build like a new conqueror or whatever, you're gonna have to wait till like not this bounty, obviously, but the next bounty.
Right. These are it's defender only, so these are not going to work.
Yeah.
People that think that they just go by tier. I've had that before where people think that the tier that's not it. So
Yeah.
these will not work. So spend them. No, that's what I do. But you never. They're nice to have.
I spend mine just like candy too.
It is nice to see in that same campaign there's like 12 days off the Conquest shipyard for anybody who hasn't built it yet. You know, with that, like we were saying earlier, with that thing being 42 days, 12 days off, that's a pretty nice little chunk out of it.
And I'm happy to see any structure build tokens, even if they're just one, even twos. I like those.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking at. I've seen those. I'm like, all right.
Right. And it's just amazing the joy I get out of one day on a structure speed up, in all honesty. And so I like those. My base is far from done, so I could use those for quite a while.
Me too. I've always got one upgrading, it seems like.
Right. Throwing my balance off, that's for sure. Lately, I'm getting to the point where it's changing my front, so I'm gonna have to change. So
well, I reckon that's pretty much it for this show, guys. Thanks for hanging out and watching us. This one was kind of a little bit thrown together at the last minute, so sorry we don't have our usual amount of pizzazz that we usually do, but it happens every now and then. But give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and share us with your pages that we can't get to. And we appreciate it, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you.